Social update UG. Kakati, this is NUP's official statement on the European Union Parliament on human rights violations linked to the oil pipeline. Okitegeera era nga jjukira nti NUP President Bobi Wine of recent abaddeko mu Europe era nga webadde yakadda mu ggwanga erya Uganda yafulumiza official statement era nga esoma bweti. The National Unity Platform welcomes the resolution by the European Parliament on the violations of human rights linked to investments in fossil fuels, specifically the Kingfisher, Tilenga and the East African crude oil pipeline projects, Wajite EACOP. Among others, the resolution is in agreement with our view that the project in its present form is not intended to be tangible for the development of Uganda or its neighbors, but rather aims solely at exporting crude oil. The proceeds from the project will likely be lost through the widespread corruption and used for patronage, like has happened to all other projects undertaken by the Museveni regime. No wonder, despite repeated requests from the Ugandan people for transparency and accountability, the regime has refused to disclose the production sharing agreements with international oil companies as well as the EACOP related agreements. In other countries, such agreements are made available online and can be accessed and critiqued by citizens. The people of Uganda oppose Museveni's continuous personalization of our natural resources, including oil, which he refers to as my oil. We also agree that the project poses great dangers to the environment generally, and more specifically the water resources within the region. A satisfactory environmental impact assessment must be made before all this is done. We are pleased that the resolution mentions the serious violations of human rights being committed by the Museveni regime, desperate to extend the 36-year rule at all costs. These violations include the abductions of citizens, arbitrary detentions without trial, harassment and closure of civil society organizations, grabbing of huge private chunks of land without providing adequate and timely compensation or following due process of law. We encourage the EACOP partners in the interim to implement the one-year moratorium as proposed by the resolution in order to study the feasibility alternative routes intended to protect our water resources at all costs and as well deal with the potential social environmental consequences of the project. We have noted statements from regime officials describing the resolution as an act of neocolonialism and racism. This is the usual blackmail by the Museveni regime. Like other despots, they always evoke Pan-African sentiments whenever called out on extrajudicial killings, abductions, torture, etc. Are these violations the standard measure for Pan-Africanism? Why is the West only regarded a reliable ally when the regime goes there begging for aid, and not when they call out the barbaric criminal acts? These double standards and hypocrisy must be condemned. The NUP believes in undertaking robust development programs to lift our people out of poverty and push our nation out of the pit of underdevelopment. However, these programs must go hand in hand with transparency, accountability, and respect human rights and civil liberties. While moving from a predominantly agricultural economy to an oil economy, there must be genuine political, social, and economic reforms. From their track record, it is very clear that Gen. Museveni's regime lacks the willingness or even the ability to implement any of such reforms. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine, President. Official statement okuva mu NUP wali kwata ku mafuta agagala okubeera nga gasimibwa n'omukutu ogwagala okubeera nga guzimbibwa okugenda okuba nga gukatambuza okuva wali mu Uganda Masindi nga gugendera ddala paka Tanzania for export. Jjukira nti abazungu bagambye dda nti nno ekintu kino kyandiba nga kijja kukosobolamu ate nga n'essente tezijja kuvaayo. So gwe just mbula kyolowooza mu comments ku nsonga eyo. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. Peace.